الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام الأتمان الأكملان على خير خلق الله أجمعين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, I'm the first one to ever use a presentation maybe. Do not forward. Do not forward. Ever since I started using emails as means of communication, particularly as means for da'wah, I've been having heartaches, headaches, high blood pressure, and lastly, I really wished I was a hacker so I can hack those who send me emails, PCs, prevent them from ever sending an email out again. Put a permanent block from them being able to ever send out an email related to the discussion. Of course, if they want to send email to their relatives, that's none of my business. But I would hack those who do not observe the Islamic guidelines in using emails and the likes. You may think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. And I will prove to you, inshallah, in this presentation through some sample emails that I received, which you probably received also, that among the things we get are amazing things, amazingly wrong, amazingly disturbing, and amazingly against Islam. And that will become very clear as we move on with the presentation. Let it be known that the internet and all means of modern technology are not exempt from being governed by the Islamic law. They're not exempt from being governed by the Islamic law. Every Facebook post and every YouTube upload and every chat, every email one of us writes, even the forward button that we click, we will be responsible for that on the Day of Judgment. The same way we are responsible for every word we say, and for every deed we perform, and for every action we take, we will be equally responsible for these things that the people today have thought are not included. This is, not part of it. I could do whatever I want on Facebook. I can do whatever I want through email. I could lie. I could fabricate. It's fine. I'm not held accountable. But if I say something wrong, if I lie, Allah will hold me accountable. If I cheat, Allah will hold me accountable. But in the email, in the internet world, it's like everything is okay. Either people truly believe that, or we are far away from having knowledge of the etiquette of how to deal with these things, so much so that we are treating them in the way I have described earlier. Now, the evidence for what I have said, or the evidences are too many to enumerate, but I will quote a couple which we can all relate to. And I chose them from the end of the Qur'an because most of you here probably know these ayat. The first one is Surah Al-Infitar. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ And upon you are angels, guardian angels, those who record. Angels which have been appointed to watch over us. Kiraman katibin. They're noble scribes. They write down everything. Furthermore, يَعْلَمُونَ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ. They know all that which you do. In Surah Al-Zalzala, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. Whosoever does good equal to the weight of an atom, or back then it was a small ant. This is what dharra was to the Arabs before they discovered atom in this day and time. Whoever does a deed good equal to that, he shall see it. That is on the Day of Judgment. And whoever does evil equal to the weight of an atom shall also see it on the Day of Judgment. That's small. It will be brought to account. And the Hadith Qudsi, Allah Azza wa Jal says, Ya ibadi innama hiya a'malukum uhsiha lakum. O my slaves, verily it is only your deeds which I accumulate for you. Allah keeps track of each and every one. Everything is recorded. Then the hadith continues, so whoever finds good on the day of judgment, let him praise Allah. And whoever finds otherwise, then let him blame none but himself or herself. These are some, and you may be able to quote others, dealing with the fact that every single thing we do as Muslims, we will be brought to account concerning. There is no exception except if you are underage, you haven't reached puberty, or if you are insane. If you were insane, I don't think you'll be here during the lecture right now. Or if you were sleeping, and I'm assuming everyone is up until now, maybe you will sleep later on in the lecture. Unless it's one of these three, then every single thing we will do, we will be held accountable to, including the things which we do on the internet. Now, these modern tools or modern technology are what they call in the English world, double-edged sword. Something that if you utilize properly will be beneficial, it will be fruitful, and it will be means of success or attaining success. And if you misuse it, it's the other way around. And when it comes to Islam and modern technology, it becomes a very sensitive issue. Because it's not business, it's not money, which you may gain if you utilize these means properly, or you may lose business. You may lose your life and wind up in the hellfire because of a forward button which you click. Yes, and I will prove to you inshallah as we move on why this is the case. So I will give you three fundamental principles, and I will remind you of them inshallah towards the end. Number one, we already discussed. Everything we do, we will be held accountable for, including these minor things which we consider to be minor. Second, when you are propagating Islam through the internet, every time you send out an email, and I will focus on the email, every time you send out an email, you are doing two things. First, you are spreading knowledge. Second, you are issuing a verdict, a fatwa. And in both cases, a Muslim is required to be qualified before he is able to spread knowledge or issue a fatwa. This is something that we all agree to. In Bukhari, we have a chapter called Babu al-Ilm qabla al-Qawli wal-Amal, the chapter of knowledge before actions or speech. If we don't have knowledge, we cannot act or speak. So when we're dealing with the email world and forwarding emails in particular, once we do so, we are doing these two things. These three things actually. Which means if we're unable to verify the information, and if we don't have the means to issue a fatwa, then it becomes haram for one of us to write an email